in those 2 innings.
From Alabama.
Yeah?
Yeah, went to Arizona, in Tucson there.
But not in the Hall of Fame,
Not
right?
in the Hall of Fame.
Because I was just in Cooperstown, didn't see it.
No.
All right, baseball and golf, opposite, right? In golf, fewer swings, the better. Mm-hmm. No place better for a U.S. Open than Pebble Beach. The sun did not shine there for even 5 minutes during the entire tournament. Mm-hmm. You'll get no complaints from the players because they are happy to put on a pullover if it means an easier pebble.
Minimal winds, smooth greens, and there were green greens. Mm-hmm. We're used to seeing brown greens at the USGA, but after the USGA took that public flogging from the golf media after last year's Open, they applied the Formula One usually needs to win this championship as a player: conservative, smart, and focused. That's Brooks Koepka in a nutshell, trying to win his third consecutive U.S. Open. Only guy who's done that was Willie Anderson, 1903 to 1905, and Koepka came out swinging. Par 4 third, stuffs it. Second birdie in 3 holes. Here's Gary Woodland, your leader, trying to hold on to the lead, get his first major championship. Good answer there, second shot on the par 4. He would make that to get to 12 under par. So Woodland protecting the lead. No one was able to get to him today and really put some pressure on him. Great compression there. He would make that one to get to 13 under, but Koepka's not going away. Koepka, the tough par 3 fifth, center cut, pork chop. Drips in the front. He birdies 4 of his first 5, putting pressure on, but still a 2-shot cushion for Woodland. All the way to the 14th, a shot of his professional career. It's cold, it's uphill, it's a nuked 3-wood from 263, and boy, it's hard to leave it hole high. But he does. There in 2 on the par 5, get up and done for birdie. He got up, he got down. At that point, it seemed like it was his championship. Koepka would have to go get him. 3-wood, 3-iron. 224. The draw made it real tough to hold the green here. He knew that thing was nuked, but it's in the back of the green. Up and down for birdie, get within 1, chip it in eagle, and tie Woodland. Meanwhile, Gary has to chip on the 17th, the hourglass-shaped green. But these are pros, and they don't mind those little tight conditions. He almost jars it for birdie. Instead, he gets the much-needed par. Now has to wait for Koepka. He didn't chip it in for eagle, so this is to get to within 1. Oh, it just ran out of pace. The line looked good. So Woodland now knows on the 18th tee that he can win with a bogey. Here he is for birdie. 3 putts to win. He's thinking probably 2 putts. He's thinking, boom!
Champion.
Boom! Winner, winner, chicken parm dinner. Mom and dad are there. One of the most liked guys on tour. Division II basketball player, transferred to Kansas to play golf when basketball didn't work out. Golf is working out. There he is, United States Open champion. Topeka, Kansas. Gary Woodland, the kind of kid who grew up, he was good at everything. Baseball, basketball, golf. He was destined for this kind of greatness, this kind of championship, that kind of trophy, and it's his now at the age of 35. So he birdies the 18th. He posts the lowest score to par at an Open at Pebble. 1 shot better than Tiger in 2000. Of course, Woods won by 15, and the only guy who was under par then. The conditions were brutal. They were not difficult this weekend. Again, soft, not much wind, and the players took advantage of it. 4th win, first major for Woodland. Meanwhile, Tiger, final round, 2 under 69. 4 bogeys in the first 6 holes, 6 birdies in the final 12. Good driving day, 10 of 14 fairways, 12 of 18 greens. Tiger intimated afterwards he is done until the Open Championship at Royal Portrush in Northern Ireland, the year's final major in July. Some family time, rest the body, and go for an Open. Older fellas can win the Open Championship. That might be one Tiger is comfortable with. Coming up, we're not done from Pebble. Tom Rinaldi and Andy North, who won 2 U.S. Opens, talk about the first one for Gary Woodland.
20th U.S. Open, and the winner is not Willie Anderson. Or maybe he is, because he remains the last guy to win 3 in a row. Gary Woodland, 1-shot lead over Justin Rose to start the round. 3-shot lead over Brooks Koepka. Rose disappeared, and the 3-shot lead over Brooks held. He's the champ. Tom Rinaldi, Andy North from the left coast.
Gary Woodland had gone 0 for 7 with a 54-hole lead, and in the end, he solved that streak in the biggest win of his career, a major champion for the first time. Andy North can relate to having the 36-hole lead, the 54-hole lead, and then winning this championship. Andy, what did Gary Woodland prove to himself, most importantly, this day?
One, that he can finish. I mean, the fact that he'd never won from the lead is really a big deal to finally do that. What a great week to get that done. He did it a lot of different ways. I thought that it was really critical for him getting off to a good start. He made 2 birdies the first 3 holes, and that really set up the rest of the day.
2 key moments, Andy. One of them came on the par 5 on the backside, the 14th, where he, from 263, hit one of the purest shots you'll ever see under pressure.
And to be able to carry it up onto that green is almost impossible. I mean, it is so elevated. He hit an unbelievable shot and was fortunate enough that it hit softly, and he ended up getting up and in, and that really put the final nail in the coffin. But I thought even more important than that shot, which is fantastic, the fact that on the tee shot at 14, he got his swing slowed down. He lost his sequence a little bit at 11, 12, and 13, hit some balls to the right. He got it back down, slowed it down, and from that point on, he hit quality shots.
Stumbled and then recovered, and of course, the signature moment was from 90 feet away, chipping on the 17th.
As you were saying, you didn't want any part of that shot, but he played it beautifully. We've seen a lot of players this week have to do that because of the ridge that cuts through the edge of the green. He played it up perfectly, caught it just as he wanted to. It had enough spin on it, and as he said later on, he thought he was going to make it when it was about 8 feet from the hole.
As much as this day belongs to Gary Woodland, we want to see our champions earn it, and Brooks Koepka forced him to do so. What can you say about 2 runner-ups now sandwiched around a PGA championship win from Koepka? What did he show today?
Well, it'd be hard to argue that he may not be the best big major type player that we have in our game right now, that he brings it every single time, and he does it different ways. We all thought that there was a really good chance back at about the 11th or 12th hole that he still could be our champion. So good for him and great for Gary holding him off.
But instead, it's Gary Woodland who, in signature style, drains his final putt at the 72nd hole, the U.S. Open champion, Gary Woodland.
Andy North, when he won, did not earn $2,250,000 for the victory. That's a lot of cake. Prior to this year, only 3 golfers had ever shot all 4 rounds in the 60s of the U.S. Open. Last to do it, Rory McIlroy, congressional. Remember, they didn't have any rough there. It was 2011. This year, 2 guys did it. Gary Woodland, Brooks Koepka. Amazingly. Yeah, you're Koepka. How'd you do? 68-68 on the weekend. Got beat by 3.
Instead, somebody else delivered it. Prior to Sunday, his biggest accomplishment was winning 3 times in the PGA Tour and scoring 21 points in a college basketball game at Allen Fieldhouse. But Michael, those accolades need to take a back seat now for sure, thanks to a sonic boom.
Yeah, because Gary Woodland, who grew up cheering for Kansas to win national titles on the hardwood, can now call himself a national champion after claiming his first major victory at the U.S. Open. Woodland entered the final round as the 54-hole leader in a major for the very first time, but he would have to hold off a hard-charging Brooks Koepka, seeking a three-peat at the U.S. Open. Willie Anderson, the only man to do that, and that was back in the early 1900s. And early on, Koepka came out firing at all pins, setting up birdie after birdie. That one there is second birdie in 3 holes, but Woodland would put some circles on his card as well. This is the par 4 second. His approach, playing more than 500 yards during the weekend, he would make that putt to get to 12 under par. The par 4 third, his approach, again from the fairway, which was key all week for him. And how about this little zip, bringing it back, and just like that, he's got 2 early birdies to get to 13 under par. But Brooks Koepka won the last 2 U.S. Opens, as we mentioned. Of course, he won the PGA as well. He is built for these majors. After 9 holes, Woodland has a 2-stroke lead over Koepka. Let's go to the 14th pivotal hole, par 5. Up the hill from 263 away with a 3-wood. Woodland carries the bunker, and he would have that chip for eagle. He would leave it there for birdie, and that was a huge momentum maneuver for him to go from 11 under to 12 under, get that 2-stroke lead. So Brooks Koepka at -10. Could he eagle the last to put more pressure on Woodland? Absolutely stripes it from the fairway, hits it so well it goes through the green and in to the rough behind it. He knew he needed a little bit closer to have a reasonable shot. at eagle. But check out the par 3 17th. Not a good shot from Woodland on his tee shot. Actually had to chip it from off the green and almost makes it for birdie. Coming into this week, he was 169th on tour in scrambling, which is getting up and down for par when you miss the green. He was number 1 in the field this week. We've seen several signature moments at the 17th at Pebble Beach. Tom Watson, Jack Nicklaus, now Gary Woodland. So here, Brooks Koepka for birdie, at least maybe have a chance on the last. If Woodland would bogey, not enough speed. He knew that was his last opportunity. And there is Woodland on the 17th green looking down 18 to Koepka. So now he's walking up the beautiful 18th hole at Pebble Beach right off the Pacific Ocean. He knows he's going to win. He has 3 putts to secure his first major championship. Instead, rock, chalk, Jayhawk. Gary Woodland is your U.S. Open champion, obliterating the field. 3-shot victory, getting to -13. And check out the crowd. Woodland giving it up and the fist pump to boot. What a moment for Gary Woodland to win his first major championship and to do it at the U.S. Open at Pebble Beach. What a week for Woodland. He's the 4th U.S. Open champion to post all 4 rounds in the 60s. In fact, he had more rounds in the 60s this week, again 4, than in his previous 26 rounds at the U.S. Open combined. That was just 3. Koepka finishes solo second, more in his major run coming up a little bit later. Some notables there, Rory McIlroy, -5. He'll be one of the favorites going to the Open Championship. Tiger Woods finishes at -2. But the story, Gary Woodland, a major champion for the first time.
You know, I've worked hard my whole life. I've been surrounded by amazing people and always just wanted to be successful. I didn't know what it was, what I was going to do. Fell in love with golf, and it's transcended to today. And it all kind of came out of me. I never let myself get ahead all day today. Just kept telling myself, you know, it's never over, it's never over, it's never over. When that last putt went in, it kind of all came out. Like I was more nervous afterwards than I was at all today. So it was. I'm glad it's over with. We've put a lot of work in this year and becoming a more complete player, and I can play different golf courses. I mean, people probably growing up said U.S. Open wouldn't suit me because I'm a long hitter, I'm a bomber. Coming to Pebble Beach, on top of that, it's a shorter golf course, and I went out and proved, I think, to everybody else what I always believed, that I'm pretty good.
Well, 6 U.S. Opens have been played at Pebble Beach in the history of this national championship. And by birdieing the 18th hole, Gary Woodland posted the lowest score at a U.S. Open at Pebble Beach. He was 1 shot better than Tiger Woods back in 2000. Of course, Tiger Woods was the only player under par that year, and he won it by 15 shots. It's also the 4th career PGA Tour victory for Woodland, who had just 4 bogeys all week. That is tied for the fewest holes over par in U.S. Open history. As for the guy who finished second, Brooks Koepka, he fell just a couple shots short of becoming just the 2nd player to win 3 straight U.S. Opens.
Played great. Nothing I could do. Gary played a great 4 days. That's what you got to do if you want to win a U.S. Open, win a major championship, and hats off to him. Cool way to go out there on 18 to make that bomb. It's he deserves it. He's worked hard, and happy for him.
Well, he didn't win on Sunday, but Brooks Koepka is starting to put together a run for the ages. He's the first to finish in the top 2 in each of a season's first 3 majors since Tiger Wood in 2005. You go back his last 4, he's got a win, a tie for second, a win, and a solo second. And according to Elias Sports Bureau, Koepka joined Woods and Ben Hogan as the only players in the Masters era to record a top 2 finish in 4 straight major starts. But with all that success, some people still don't know who Brooks Koepka is.
Hey guys, Brooks Koepka finished 3 under today, 10 under for the tournament, 2nd place.
I wasn't trying to hit it too firm. I thought it fit. I was ready for a sonic boom. It was pretty close. I feel like, I forget what the hell I was saying.